Smith and Nelson in the morning on 94.9 KYSS FM.
Morning, Montana's country leader, 94.9 KYSS FM. Temperatures today in the mid-60s. We're going to see it dip to the upper 40s tomorrow. This is kind of the last run of the days we've had.
Right.
Which it's still going to be like, okay, it's a doable day. It's pretty nice. Then tomorrow's like, where'd this come from? And we'll kind of reverse course again and start to build up the temperatures as we work through the weekend.
And hopefully we can kind of stick that way, too.
Looks like pretty good, mid-60s most of next week. But yeah, tomorrow, upper 40.
Nice.
All right, Smith and Nelson in the morning. Kind of a cool story. You'll find it with your KYSS FM mobile app, the TV show Shark Tank. That's the one where people are pitching their products to the panel of investors.
Of course.
I used to watch it quite a bit. Not so much, lately, last few years. It was always fun to just see someone with their invention.
Yeah.
You know, they come out and talk about how, I work my job, but then at night I come home, I'm in the garage packaging these things.
Yep.
And, they're trying to make the pitch to get someone to jump in so they can get it in, bigger stores and just kind of live the dream, right?
Yeah, it's a cool concept. Honestly, this story was the thing that reminded me that Shark Tank was still on TV.
It is one of those that's been on so long that it's kind of like, it had its big rush, it seems like, where it was really popular.
People were really into it for a long time, and now it's just on, and it's still popular.
Yeah.
Like, people are still watching it, but nobody's like talking about it as much anymore.
I totally get that with you, yeah. And then you kind of get reminded of, that's still running? Okay.
I had that with Modern Family, too, where that show ran for like 11 seasons, and like I stopped watching it after like season 3.
I was going to say.
So like 8 seasons later, I was like, this show is still on?
I was going to say, it seemed like there was a couple of years where that was the thing with Modern Family. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, still going? Okay.
Yep.
But Shark Tank last week had kind of a cool little Montana tie-in. One of the presenters, apparently a graduate of Billings West High School back in the day. I mean, this is going back to when he graduated. Now he's been a firefighter for like 20 years.
Right, in Oklahoma.
Currently in Oklahoma, yeah. But it's kind of a family thing. It was him and his son and his brother-in-law, and they were pitching the chillin' reel.
Okay.
Which the idea came from him being in the water, having a beer in one hand, a fishing pole in the other, trying to cast, trying to reel it in, spilling his beer in the water.
Ah, man.
And he thought, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a way where I can fish.
I picture him in like one of those infomercials where he's like struggling with his fishing line and his beer's spilling all over the place.
Terrible acting.
There's got to be a better way.
Like pulling his hair. He invented the chillin' reel. So it's basically like it's kind of a novelty idea, but it's like a can koozie.
Okay.
It's like a can koozie, keep your beer cold, and there's like a hard outer shell, and then there's like a little mini like fishing reel attached to the outside.
Okay.
It's like a hand. There's not like a spin reel, but it's kind of like you do with your hand.
Just
almost like winding a yo-yo.
Gotcha.
But it comes with like 50 feet of line, and it's just kind of like I said, it's kind of a novelty thing, maybe something do as a gag gift, but
sure.
But they're showing, how they've caught fish with it.
Yeah. Honestly, this could be like a decent gift for the fishermen in your life.
Yeah. It's a cool idea. It's a fun idea. Obviously, it's not meant that you're going to be out fishing weekend tournaments with it by any means or anything. But
for some casual fishing, and you don't want to lose your beer, that is definitely an option.
But they had fun with it. They had a good pitch. They had fun, and they did not get anybody to take the plunge with them.
Okay,
that was the bummer news. But they did toast a beer with all the sharks at the end.
That's something.
So they got something out of it. But if nothing else, I would bet the exposure and probably like Amazon sales, I would guess, at least shoot up.
Sure, yeah.
For a while.
Once you can say as seen on Shark Tank,
exactly.
That's a big deal.
I looked at their website on Monday, and now it's just everywhere. As seen on Shark Tank in the video, and
Right.
Oh, they're using that.
Very small print at the bottom. Nobody went for it on Shark Tank, but still.
They're using that to their advantage right out of the gate for sure. Why wouldn't you? Right?
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool. If you want to see a sample of it, you can actually watch some of the episode of Shark Tank. There's other videos. They've been featured on news here, Oklahoma, where the guys, firefighters, we were saying, but kind of a fun little neat-looking product.
Definitely.
Like I said, maybe not the most handy when it comes to reeling in the big one, but for having a little bit of fun or, like I said, gag gift or something.
Yeah, casual fishing.
Yeah. The Chillin' Reel. Check it out. We got the story with your KYSS FM mobile app.
Yep, this is your local country morning show. No bones about it. Smith and Nelson on 94.9 KYSS FM. The president. What they tweet, what they do, it's what's making news in the world of country music. This is the Music City 60 on 94.9 KYSS FM.
Yes, it is the Music City 60, and the Country Music Hall of Fame has just announced its inductees lot less pomp and circumstance in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame,
Yeah,
where I
right.
felt like for weeks and weeks we were trying to figure out who it was going to be. This one, they just threw him out there, and they are going to be music executive Joe Galante, the late Keith Whitley, and Jerry Lee Lewis.
There you go.
Getting inducted in there.
Little kind of a little spice added to the mix there.
Yeah,
Jerry Lee
absolutely.
Lewis.
Yeah, Jerry Lee Lewis. I guess he's still alive.
He is.
He's like 90-something now at this point, right?
Yeah, because I saw something yesterday where he was kind of being quoted on being inducted, and I thought the same thing. I was like, wow, Jerry Lee Lewis.
Still kicking.
Who knew? Darius Rucker going to start a new TV show. It's called Rutgers Reno, which when you read it, it's spelled Reno. So first I thought it was Rutgers Reno.
So did I, yeah.
Read the definition and thought, what does that have to do with Reno?
It's Darius Rucker just running around Reno, Nevada.
Rutgers Reno. It's going to air on the Design Network. It says Darius Rucker is transforming a historical mansion in downtown Charleston from a vacant city landmark with a checkered past into a modern treasure for his family to enjoy for years to come. Rutgers Reno stares history in the face, but it takes a unifying, positive approach to the way America has evolved socially and culturally through the lens of home design. That is a big buildup for just buying a place and fixing her up. There you go.
That is. There you go. Luke Combs just released the full track list for his new album, Growing Up, which is out on June 24th. One of those songs is going to be out June 17th. That one's called The Kind of Love We Make. Another one of the songs is called Outrunning Memory. It is a duet with Miranda Lambert.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't forget, we've got our Luke Combs Flyaway contest. Those Luke Combs code words.
That's right. We're giving you a code word, I believe 4 code words every single day.
Get your details with your KISS FM mobile app. And finally, the American Idol finale this weekend. Former American Idol winner Scotty McCreery talking about the show. Says it was kind of like a boot camp for him. Scotty says, it was an amazing experience. It was a time in my life where everything got started. I learned a lot from the show. It was like a boot camp of entertainment. Learned how to record, rehearse, put on a show, entertain, all wrapped into 3 months in L.A., so it was pretty wild. And that's kind of what it is, yeah. It's like, boom, you got that 3-month span.
Right.
People get in there, and some of them, it's just, they get in, they get started, then they get spit out, and you never see them again. And it's like, they had that kind of boot camp experience. But
yeah.
Someone like Scotty or somebody that makes it to the end or even wins the show, it's like, man, that's some valuable information. Just
absolutely
being thrown at you fast for the industry. All right, the finale, which we did yesterday, we were talking about all kind of the guest performers.
Right.
Great list of people that are going to appear on the show this weekend. But yeah, Idol finale happens this weekend. They'll crown another winner.
And now you're in the know with Nashville. Smith and Nelson's Music City 60. 94.9 KISS FM. 94.9 KISS FM. Smith and Nelson with what's newsy and noteworthy.
Yes, it is. What's newsy and noteworthy for your morning, and Yellowstone is coming back with another TV spinoff. There was one, I guess it was last year, right, with 1883.
Yep.
Tim McGraw, Faith Hill, and Sam Elliott. Now they're doing a spinoff called 1932, and this one's actually going to feature Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren.
The fourth one?
This is, the fourth one they've announced, but I guess I don't think they've cast the other one yet, 66, 66. So I think this one might be coming out first. But yeah, this is airing on Paramount Plus, and will show whatever's happened on the Dutton Ranch in 1932, I guess.
My gosh. 4 shows. That's
yeah.
crazy.
Harrison Ford in the TV show, too, which is pretty wild.
Yeah, you're right. Story, it says, woman in England recovering from swallowing a 6-inch coronavirus swab. Inhaled it while she was getting a COVID test.
Oh, geez.
Ugh. Ask me how that would happen.
Yeah.
Maybe like get the swab, and then all of a sudden, like, tickles you or something. Like,
yeah, right.
So it got stuck in her throat, went to the nearby hospital, underwent emergency surgery to remove it as doctors put a camera and tools down her throat to get it out. Expect to be okay, though. I mean, everything's fine.
That's good.
Oh, my gosh. That's not what you want to be in the news for.
No, definitely not. Actually, speaking of COVID-related stuff, one of the first couples to get married over Zoom is officially divorcing.
Oh.
Divorcing virtually as well, also. This apparently,
why not?
A British woman named Ace Reeves filed for an annulment from her American husband named Darren just 3 months after marrying him, and they still haven't met in person. They met online during the quarantine. Things were good up until recently, and then she claimed that he was unfaithful. Now she can't trust him anymore. She says his ex has confirmed that she and Darren are back together, and they're actually like in person together. So she said it wasn't quite the fairy tale ending that I had hoped for.
They never even met in person.
Never met in person. I guess they connected over Zoom and had a connection there, and they just got married virtually and said we'll figure it out later as far as actually meeting up. Yeah, not quite.
Oh, that's a wild one.
That is a weird one.
This is a fun one. I saw this yesterday. The story about A toddler in Texas recently ordering 31 McDonald's cheeseburgers while playing with his mom's phone. The lady got on Facebook and put a post up that said, I have 31 free cheeseburgers from McDonald's if anyone's interested. Apparently my 2-year-old knows how to order DoorDash. She thought her son was just playing around with the phone, maybe taking pictures or whatever. Then actually the food showed up, and actually people took her up on the free offer.
I mean, how could you not?
A couple people raised the, hey, I'll take a cheeseburger.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, anytime you offer free food, people are going to go for it. Which, speaking of, Grubhub had a promo in New York yesterday where you can get free lunch from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., or technically like $15 off your order, but it basically covered like a whole lunch.
That's free lunch, yeah.
Yeah. What followed was chaos, because as soon as it started, restaurants were flooded with orders, couldn't keep up. One cafe in Brooklyn got 200 orders in 5 minutes.
Man.
And there was no way to fill them all. Employees were slammed. Delivery drivers were slammed. And most people who tried to get in on it either had to wait hours for their food or their order got canceled. So basically everyone involved was upset. And, Grubhub's customer service line was so busy it couldn't get through. One guy who called got a message that said over 3,600 people were in line in front of him.
I mean, what did they think was going to happen?
I mean, exactly. Grubhub tried to spin it into a positive and said, hey, the promotion exceeded all expectations.
Yeah, everybody's. That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, final one. It says a mother from Kentucky recently delivered her own baby on the side of the road. Started having contractions while she was out running errands. She was 3 weeks away from her due date. Thought she had time before giving birth. And then she realized she was in labor. As she was driving home, she thought she could make it home so she could do a water birth.
Okay.
Couldn't quite make it. Pulled to the side of the road. Told her 5 children, stay where you are. She got out of her van. Was in squat position when her water broke.
Man.
She caught the baby and called her husband and said, it's here.
You know what? If she already has 5 children, she's seen how it's done. She knows the procedure.
Right.
That would be the most trustworthy person to deliver a baby on their own.
It's like changing your oil.
Yeah.
Why pay someone when I can do it myself?
Right.
No problem.
Just saved a bunch of money in hospital bills.
Right. All right. There you go. Newsy and noteworthy for the morning.
And available 24/7 with the KYSS mobile app.
Turn it up.
Montana's country leader, 94.9 KYSS FM.
Montana's country leader, 94.9 KYSS FM. Smith and Nelson in the morning. Your first Luke Combs code word of the day. Coming up right around 8:20.
That's right.
That could put you in Atlanta, seeing Luke Combs in concert, big stadium show. Airfare, hotel, fly away, big old package from Sony Music Nashville. 8:20, your first code word for the morning. All right, this is it's kind of fun coming up here for the week. Been talking about the PaddleHeads, the upcoming baseball season.
Yeah, which kicks off 1 week from today.
Yeah, and that's kind of the date that's always been in mind when you're talking about the season. Oh, it starts on May 25th. Starts on May 25th.
Right.
Actually, they'll be playing baseball on Friday night.
Nice.
Going to have a game over at Ogren Park. Kind of a warm up, a little tune up, if you will.
Okay, so not part of the main season, but like a spring training game.
Kind of an exhibition to get things started.
Nice.
And the cool part about it is it's like $5 for general admission tickets.
Oh, really?
And then all of the money that they collect goes to the United Way of Missoula.
Even better. That's great.
Yeah, so just a chance to see the team for the first time, chance to be out there watching baseball, knowing that your ticket and the money you paid for it going to a great cause.
Yeah, PaddleHeads taking on Idaho Falls for the spring exhibition game.
Getting ready for the season. Starts a week from tonight, as we mentioned. So that'll be the opening day. A lot of fun stuff to look forward to this year. You've got the Wolf Wednesdays.
Right, Wolf Wednesdays are back.
Yeah.
I believe Thirsty Thursdays also coming back.
Absolutely. Free kids on the Sunday baseball games.
That's great.
First fireworks show of the year is next Friday.
Oh, nice.
So as we start the season a week from today. Coming up next Friday, first firework night.
Yep, they'll be doing Pride Night. They'll be doing Star Wars Night. They got a lot of stuff planned for the summer this year for sure.
All right. We are excited about the return of Missoula PaddleHeads baseball and the first chance to see them play coming up on Friday night. Get your $5 tickets as all the proceeds go into that great cause, the United Way of Missoula County. We got all the details with your KYSS FM mobile app.
Who needs a pass?
Smith and Nelson's Odds and Ends on 94.9 KYSS FM.
Yes, it is some odds and ends for your morning. And finally, Cheez-Its are teaming up with Pandora, the music station.
Yes!
The collaboration we've all been waiting for. Cheez-Its and Pandora are creating Cheez-Its with cheese that was sonically aged to hip-hop music. So basically what that means, I guess sonically aging cheese is a thing with music. Cheese itself is aged in the usual process, but with music playing in the background while it's kind of just hanging out there. And apparently, there was a study out of Switzerland 3 years ago which found that cheese tastes better when it's exposed to 90s hip-hop as opposed to any other genre. So that is what they're doing. It'll be hard to get your hands on. Limited run will be released at cheezithq.com beginning on May 26th.
Everything about that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
The story, that being a fact, the fact there's a website created just for these Cheez-Its.
Yes, absolutely. I would like. Can you imagine reaching into that box of Cheez-Its and eating it and being like, oh wow, that really tastes like a Tribe Called Quest. I mean, that sounds really good.
Oh, this one didn't get enough exposure to that hip hop. All right. The story, it says 7-year-old Ohio boy recently took his parents' SUV for a joyride, strapped himself in, took off, headed to go get a slushie, apparently. Drivers were calling 911 as the 7-year-old was swerving, almost hitting vehicles. He eventually did hit a median, slowed down. Another driver ran up, and this is my favorite part. Another driver ran up to the truck and trying to bang on the window.
Right.
And the 7-year-old yelled, "Stop! This is my mom's car." Like that guy's going to do the damage.
Yes.
Not you swerving around and hitting the median.
That's great.
He apparently also crashed into a Jeep. Kid was unhurt. I think everything ended up all right. But yeah, a little bit of a scary situation there.
Yeah, definitely. If you're a Bachelor in Paradise fan, good news. ABC announced its fall schedule yesterday. You're getting 4 hours of Bachelor in Paradise every single week.
Wow.
It's taking over Mondays from 8 to 10, and it's also going to be on Tuesdays for 2 hours as well. I guess now that Dancing with the Stars is no longer on ABC and it's moving to Disney+, they need something to fill the time there. They also announced a few other shows, including Celebrity Jeopardy to their Sunday night lineup, which was an SNL sketch and is now a real show, apparently.
There you go. This story is out of Texas. No thank you. Family recently found rattlesnakes hiding in their pool noodles. Fire department tweeted that when someone picked up one of the pool noodles, a large rattlesnake fell out. And then they realized later that several baby snakes were still inside. All the snakes were removed. Eesh.
That is no good. This story came out about a year ago. This woman was in the news after she climbed into a spider monkey enclosure at the El Paso Zoo and started feeding them Cheetos. She hopped a fence, waded across a 3-foot moat, hand-fed Cheetos to 2 different monkeys, and then someone got it on video. She got arrested for criminal trespassing back then, but she is now still claiming she did nothing wrong. She refuses to apologize. Her defense seems to be that the zoo did not have a sign that specifically said that you could not jump in and interact with the monkeys.
Wow.
And she claims they were super excited and happy to see her. Zoo officials say, if you watch the video, they're actually pretty freaked out and upset. And obviously, their diet does not include Cheetos. She was working as a legal assistant at a law firm at the time. They fired her over it. She says she's still upset some news outlets called them Flamin' Hot Cheetos when they were really just regular ones.
Yeah, that's the important part.
Said that made it sound way worse. Did a new interview the other day. So the only lesson she's learned is that sharing Cheetos is wrong, apparently.
Monkeys would have been so much happier if it was like Cheez-Its that were aged with fine 90s rap music. All right, what happened on this day? This date, 1963, the Beatles started their first tour as the featured act. How about having the Beatles as your opening act once upon a time? That'd be cool.
That'd be great.
This date, 1993, why this is in the archive, who knows? President Clinton received a $200 haircut while Air Force One sat on a runway at LAX.
Okay.
For some reason, that is in the This Day in History notes today. Birthdays, Tina Fey is 52, and the King, George Strait, turns 70 today. There are your odds and ends for the morning with KYSS.
This part of Smith and Nelson in the Morning brought to you by Hunter Bay Coffee, Montana's premium gourmet coffee roaster. The Brett's RV, newsworthy nugget of the day with Smith and Nelson on 94.9 KYSS FM.
Brought to you by Farside Sign, Missoula's leading full-service sign and custom vehicle graphic shop. Farside Sign in the 2200 block, South Avenue West.
All right, nugget time. That's where we kind of lay a fun fact out there. Something we found, we thought was a little interesting, and we hope it's not common knowledge to the masses.
Exactly. And like I said, this may be surprising, but also just based on what it is, maybe not. Did you know that treadmills were invented in the early 1800s as a way of punishing prisoners in England?
Oh,
that is the reason why treadmills exist, and we use them today all the time in exercise
to
equipment
punish ourselves.
To punish ourselves, exactly. But in the early 1800s, an English civil engineer named Sir William Cubitt devised the world's first treadmill to punish and reform England's prisoners because he was kind of disgusted by the idleness of the prisoners and believed that hard exercise would help whip convicts into shape. And that is the origin
in more ways than one
of the treadmill. Apparently, it lasted in England until the late 19th century when it was eventually banned for being excessively cruel. It was too cruel for the prisoners of England after a while, but for us today, we still use it all the time.
That's an interesting history, though.
Yes, absolutely. That is why the treadmill exists today. Need to or not, now you know.
Guy.